And we are live. Welcome to the process. It is Friday, March 10th. I am Josh Engleman here to break down another 6-game NBA slate. We're closing out the work week with a really good schedule. Honestly, this week has been fantastic from a DFS perspective in terms of slate size. In terms of results, not quite. However, prize picks going great for me. 4-1 again yesterday, up to 17-6 in my last 23. Love it. Love to see it. Interesting slate tonight. Lots to talk about. Excited to break it down. Excited to be done too. You know, you get this, you get contenders, prize picks, and no house advantage. And I'm done. I wash my hands of this week. Off tomorrow. Fly home tomorrow. So heading back to good old North Carolina in the morning tomorrow. Back on Sunday morning with Laffy for the strategy show. Then we do it all again. But for now, I'm going to talk some basketball for Friday. 6-game Friday slate. When I woke up this morning, I assumed I couldn't even remember what we looked at on Monday. I was not expecting 6 games, so that was exciting. That was a good way to start it out. I got clobbered yesterday. Too much of the Nets garbage. A ton of Bane, Drew, Middleton. All three were not interesting at all. Just not a fun slate. Bad day for chalk, and I had most of the chalk. So that'll do it, folks. That'll do it. Hope you guys had a good day. Good morning to everybody popping up in chat. Don't forget, hit that like button if you can. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. Speaking of at Josh Engleman, why? Boom, there it is. I was wondering why that wasn't showing me. Speaking of at Josh Engleman, you can see it underneath my name now, or underneath my body. Whoops, boys and girls. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Didn't mean to do that at all. Let's go ahead and get this back. Boom. Boom. And somehow now I'm like extra zoomed in. I don't know how I did that either. Whatever. We're good. Lots to talk about for today. We might as well just get into it because I feel like if I just keep rambling, I'm going to pull myself back out of this stream again. Yeah, winning lineup last night was super mid, guys. Yes. I can tell you this much. It wasn't the guys that I had. Not quite. Did not have anything of value yesterday. I feel like I missed on everything. Let me see. Let me look at it again. Yeah, I mean, my best lineup had, 2 snowflakes in it. That's usually not great. Highest owned guy on the slate was Daron Sharp, who I did have, who was mostly useless. Seth Curry was terrible. I had 70% Chris Middleton. He was awful. I had 90% Drew Holiday. He was awful. Jalen Green, I had 50% of. Awful. I ended up with a little bit less Sharp once he wasn't starting. I think I had like 50 or 60%. I can take a look quick. Actually, let's leave that tab there. Let's leave that tab there. I want to say that I had like 55 or 60, something in that neighborhood. I had 67% Sharp. But I mean this is, here's the 93% Drew Holiday, 3.7x against the scrubs of Brooklyn. 4 of 9 from the field, no Giannis, 11 points. 33 minutes. Awful. 92% Cam Thomas was fine. Probably got bailed out a bit on that one. Middleton was awful. Daron Sharp was good enough. I mean, of all the things. Desmond Bane, terrible, 4.2x. Portis worked out well, but I mean, just absolute awfulness out of the chalk yesterday. Cheese, Uh, not great, not great. But what are we gonna do? Yeah, everything's back. Everything's not ideal health wise, but we'll know a little bit more next week. More testing and stuff, but not a good diagnosis, that's for sure. Yeah. Yeah, Rozier goes crazy on a day where I don't play him. I had 14%. I had like 80% earlier in the week. I wish that I would have had more Brook Lopez. That one stung. Highest scorer on the slate. I had one lineup with him. Thought he looked interesting, but didn't expect 24 points on 10 of 20 from the field, 10 boards, and oh yeah, 10 stocks. Dude had 9 blocks yesterday. Can we talk like that's ridiculous? 9 blocks and a steal, 10 stocks, 24, 10, and 10 stocks. Yuck. Well, folks, let's get into it. We got a bunch of games to break down. I appreciate you being here. Let's uh let's do this bad boy. So, let's get into it. First game up, Portland Trailblazers, 9-point dogs in Philadelphia, 230 total. What do we need to know here for Portland? Blazers, Q tag on Simons. That's a bit of a problem. No Winslow, no Archie, no Ibu Baji. So we got to get Anthony Simons back in for today. Simons has only played one game in the past, I don't know, month, basically. Crispy, what's going on? Larry, we're good. We're good. No surprises, at least. All right, let's assume that Simons comes back. And, well, actually, let's take a look. On March 1st, when he came back, how was he profiling in that game? So he came back, started, played stagger rotation in the first half, played 3.5 and 3.5. So that was, he played 7 minutes in the second quarter, 8 minutes in the first quarter. So he was on pace to play about 30 in that return. So let's assume that he's going to play about 30. We're then going to cut Cam Reddish's minutes down quite a bit. In that game, Reddish was, basically fixing to just be a backup. He played 24 minutes that game. No reason to suspect he's going to play anything more than that. So I'm going to take him down to 24. I'm assuming Thibault continues to start. That sort of makes the most sense. Played 20 minutes Wednesday night, which is not ideal. We got 37 for Grant. We got 37 for Dame. That can all hold. We got 17 out of Nurk, 25 out of Watford, 14 out of Eubanks. So they did play 9 minutes with Trendon Watford alongside of the two centers. I'm kind of okay with what I have in here. I guess Eubanks probably needs a little bit less playing time. Looks like it's more likely to go to Watford at this point. So I'm going to take Eubanks down to 16. We're going to take Nurk down to 23. And I'm going to give 3 more to Trendon Watford. Now, in terms of cutting out the rest of this rotation, Nas Little probably needs to come down 2 more minutes. We'll take him to 17. Shaden Sharp needs to come down quite a bit, probably to 16. And that still leaves me way, way, way over in minutes. Way over. Even if I bring Bible down to 28, I'm still 6 clear. Where am I going to kill 6 minutes here? Now I need to just start moving stuff around to make sure that it makes sense. I'm going to take Jeremy Grant down to 36. Nas Little goes in for 12.28. And this is I don't know what they're gonna do with the rest of this rotation. Wait, did I accidentally just nerf somebody that I didn't know I nerfed? I'm down to 240 now, and I don't know how it happened. No, that's 16 for Eubanks, 23 for Nurk, 18 for Watford, 12 for Nas Little. I guess I'm probably too low on Nas Little, but I don't think that's gonna matter at all. 16 for Sharp, 37. Yeah, I guess we're good here. We do need to make some rate changes because Dame's gonna be really difficult to get to today. Just because if Simons is back, you just don't have the same rates for Dame. So if I do games where Dame starts, Grant starts, Nurk starts, and Simons starts, like Dame's usage rate is going to be, I don't want to say low, but it's not going to be what you're used to. So that's for sure. Come on. There we go. Yeah, they've played like 1,000 minutes with each other. And I don't really need to take like Josh Hart off. That's not, I think Thibel's a pretty good proxy for him. Anthony Simons in games that he's started alongside Dame with everybody else available, 24% usage rate. Dame, I guess I got to get Cam Reddish too, who's basically got no minutes in this scenario. Yeah, he hasn't played with these guys at all. I'm just going to let him calculate as needed. Dame Lillard, 33% usage rate, I guess. We're not going to be getting to Dame today. He's going to look like a pretty terrible pay-up option unless his price took a giant hit. Nurk is such a big usage dude. That's really the problem. Thibault and Reddish can just sort of have whatever is left. Assist rates matter here. Dame's doesn't move. Simons has to come down a bit. Surely Reddish and Grant and everybody don't really move around all that much. Grant actually a bit lower. We could leave it though. I think that's going to be Portland. I would be very surprised if we get to anything from Portland. Very surprised. Now we look at Philly. Everybody's available for Philly. Maxey, Harris, Tucker. Okay, so I have everybody in as well, so that's helpful. So 36 for Embiid, 12 for Paul Reed. We didn't have Harden on Tuesday, but I traveled, so I never had to make that change. So I've got Harden in for his 38. We've got Maxey in for his 34. We've got Tobias Harris in for his 33. 27 for Melton. 26 for Tucker. Yeah, I don't have to move Philly around at all. Sure does. Yeah, if he's shooting 36% from 3, I mean, he needs more volume, which I guess he's sort of seen in Portland, but if he can do that, he's got a shot. All right, here we go. Philly. So Embiid for 11.6 is the best guy you can get to from Philly. James Harden at 10.3 is second. And I rarely like Harden, but based on what I'm seeing here, he's probably going to grade out pretty well for me. No real interest in Maxey now that he's up to 7,500. No real interest in Tobias Harris at 5,900, but I like him more than Maxey. Melton's price is probably a bit too high. This is Embiid and Harden for me. And then on Portland, I expect to see a lot of yellow and red. Yeah, exactly. Dame's 10.9. So the price tag did come down. That's helpful. You're never going to get to Dame before Embiid, and I don't think that you can get to Dame over Harden. So very, very difficult to want to get to really anything from Portland. Jeremy Grant is probably the best sort of combination of upside and price. Because like if Simon's at 7,100, just really hard to trust him on a day like today if he's back. At least we'll know he's back. It helps that this is an early game, but not the best first game unless you're looking for pay-up talent on Philly. And we know that when we get to Cleveland, Miami, barring anybody being out that I don't know of, that's going to be a game that's mostly a cross-off. So limited slate so far. Let's go to Atlanta. 1-point favorites in Washington, 238 total. This is a pretty big one. No injury news for Atlanta. So let's see what they did We ended up getting 29 minutes out of John Collins, which is some real bullshit after these previous 5 games. I wanna look at that quickly. So that was on the 8th. They beat Washington by 2, so we're running that game back. Um, Collins played like a normal starter, just like straight starter minutes, closed the game. They won, so I guess that's a good thing. Collins was -6 for the game, so I don't know how much that helps. They didn't really do anything weird. We only got 25 minutes out of Capella. You know, we got ooh, so they went to a non they played I guess they play Collins at the 5 for 2 minutes by himself? In the first Yeah, I mean, so they played the final minute 48 of the second quarter with John Collins at the 5. Hmm, interesting, interesting. Alright, so I'm gotta bring Capella back down another minute to 27. We'll put Okongwu in for 21. I'm gonna put Okongwu in for 21 to John Collins. That gives me 25 for John Collins. I don't trust these guys at all, at all. Like, is there any reason we should suspect John Collins doesn't close again? I guess I gotta take him up to, like, 26. I don't really feel comfortable going further than that. S&P, is that legit? I didn't even think to look at dueling foul trouble, but let me look. Okongwu had 1 in his first rotation, got to 3. Then Capella had he picked up his 3rd, and then they didn't bring so they both had 3. That's, I could see why they did it. I'm happy going to 1 minute. At least we know it's on the table. Yeah, Capella didn't have any in his first rotation. He picked up 3 in that final, like, 5-minute rotation, so they took them both off. But I think 26 minutes for John Collins makes some sense. 29 for Sadiq Bey certainly doesn't. We gotta take at least a minute away there. Trey's still playing 33. DeJounte, I'm gonna take up to 36. So, just in case anybody's curious, um, DeJounte Murray is gonna be the guy that I get to the most, and unquestionably, Trae Young's gonna have a big game today. I've never been more sure of something in my entire life. But if I know I'll get DeJounte Murray. You guys know how much I get that dude. If I'm already thinking that I'm gonna get him, Trae Young is gonna have a massive day. We go to Washington. What do we know for the Wiz? Everybody's in. Okay, so this is standard issue Wizards rotation as well. Um, we did get Monty Morris back. He played 16 minutes. DeLon Wright played 31 and a half. So they split the point guard minutes and they went very heavy to DeLon Wright. So I'm going 30 to DeLon Wright. I'm going 18 to Monty Morris. I'm going 29 and 19. We got 24 in for Gafford. That feels about right. 34 for Porzingis. Porzingis needs more minutes. I got to take him up to 36, 35, 35. We got 36 for Kuzma. That's going to become 35 as well. We got 35 for Beal. That actually I'm going to make 36. And we got Denny in for 26. That's too high. We're going to take him down to 24. We got to bring Corey Kispert up quite a bit. That's annoying, but this dude appears to be playing 30 minutes a night. And then those final 8 minutes, Taj, sure. Goodwin, sure. Doesn't really matter to me who gets them. So that's going to be Washington. So for the Wiz, they're at least a little appealing here. $9,100 Porzingis. I don't mind getting to, power forward center. $7,800 Kuzma. I had a bunch of him on Wednesday, ended up not mattering. Beal looks totally fine at 8,400. You probably don't want all 3 of them, even though that started to look really I think that looked actually really good on Wednesday, but, you get 2 of those guys, it's fine. Kispert, DeLon Wright, Denny, reasonable value plays. Gafford, you can take a run at if you want. Washington looks really good. I mean, and this is a game with a 240 total, so on the Atlanta side, no surprises here. Love DeJounte Murray. Um, we knew that was coming. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Don't know why I just created a new sheet, but I did. Yeah, DeJounte Murray is dude's my kryptonite, but he's 7,700. Like 7,700 on a 6-game slate. He's looking for 44.5 fantasy points. That's what we want out of DeJounte Murray. So if we just look at his recent history, 39, 46, 55, 48. Like it's I mean, he's got 3 games in his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 out of his last 7 are successes at this current salary. The 38-8 isn't gonna be great, but it's not a total death sentence. So I don't feel bad about it. I like getting to Murray. I like 93 Trae Young should look better, but I can't give him those minutes. He's playing 33 minutes a night. 32, 34, 34, 29, 32, 34, 33. Like 33 is the right projection for Trae Young. I think. He's going to go out and play 36 minutes tonight and piss me off, but it's Murray that plays the big minutes. So he's going to grade out really well for me. I'm not mad about it. And then John Collins, 4,200 power forward center. Hard to not want to at least take a run at him. I think he's going to end up sneaky popular, more popular than he should, but I think he looks good. Good enough, at least. Hunter, Bay, Capella. Like, I don't see anything there that you want to go crazy for. I should probably take a minute away from DeAndre Hunter, actually. Yeah, I'm going to take 1 minute away from Hunter. I got him at 32. I'd rather have him be at 31. All right, that's 2 games down. Now, we know, hit that like button to the 100 people that are in here. We got to talk Cleveland and Miami. And unless people are out for this one, this is going to be just a clear cross off. So Cleveland has everybody in, which we're off to a good start there. Chetty didn't play on Wednesday. Danny Green's now not in the rotation. We got 23 minutes out of Ricky Rubio. We got a bunch more out of Lamar Stevens. Dean Wade didn't play. So if I take all of these minutes away, how does that let me go? I got 35 for Garland, 35 for Mitchell, 35 for Mobley. I got 33 for Allen. I'm going to make that 32. Now, who's been playing the 4 for this team? Who do they technically call the 4 in this situation? Cavs, T-ball reference, Cleveland, height. It's not Dean Wade. It's not Chetty. I guess it's Karis LeVert and Lamar Stevens. So Lamar Stevens it is. We're going to go ahead and give Lamar Stevens 20 minutes. That might actually be a problem. We got 24 for Okoro. I'm going to shift LeVert this way as well. We're going to give LeVert 26. That lets me bump Ricky Rubio up to 18. That still leaves me 15 more minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, They played an 8-man rotation and didn't play Chetty. Ah, what should we expect there? Because I don't like. I just I don't want to give Isaac Okoro too many more minutes, even though he got them. Should we read into this rotation? I'm going to give the minutes to Chetty. I'm just going to give him 15. He's not going to show up. I don't think that any of this is going to matter in this matchup, so I should probably just not care all that much. But an 8-man rotation, like if you knew for sure that Cleveland was going to an 8-man rotation, we would have extra interest in a Lamar Stevens, a Rubio, and a Coro. Some of these guys would start to look a little bit more interesting. Now we go to the Miami side. Kevin Love probable. Kyle Lowry still out. Jovic still not available for them. So same rotation we got from Miami recently. So as we look at the Heat, we got 29 minutes for Gabe Vincent. He played very minimally on Wednesday. Time to take a look at that and see why did they go to Victor Oladipo. Same matchup again, by the way. We're running back Cleveland, Miami. Gabe Vincent didn't play the second quarter. They went to like a full bench mob. And then Gabe Vincent didn't play the fourth quarter either? What the hell kind of rotation is that? What happened on Monday then? Did they do that something stupid like that again? They beat Atlanta by 2. Gabe Vincent didn't play the fourth quarter at all in a competitive matchup and then barely closed out the second quarter. All right, well, we definitely need to knock down Gabe Vincent's minutes. I'm going to take him down to 26. Seems like we need to at least give most of those minutes to Victor Oladipo. 34 for Bam seems right. 14 for Cody Zeller seems right. 25 for Caleb Martin is going to end up being a little light. Kevin Love played 20. I'm going to take him down to 22. We'll get another minute to Martin. 33 to Butler. Can't really make a change there. 23 to Strus. We'll take 1 minute away from Strus. We'll give another one to Caleb Martin. That gets him 27. 35 to Hero is fine. That just has to be the rotation. I imagine, yeah. Okay, so 8K Bam is the guy that I would try to go to here, but like I already prefer Embiid. Double pay up center is rarely something I see. We still have some other centers to talk about. No real interest in Hero or Butler. They're both fine. Hard to get to anything really from Miami. It's just a terrible matchup. And then for Cleveland, $6,200 Jared Allen is the best play. But again, we're naming a center. I like Garland more than I like Mitchell. There just aren't priorities in this game. There just really aren't. So we're going to go to game number 4. This one, we got to reproject everything for Brooklyn. Brooklyn 5-point dogs in Minnesota, 230 total. Brooklyn on a back-to-back. They sat everybody yesterday. All those guys are available for today. They're certainly well rested. We got to delete this entire rotation and reproject them. We got to reproject all the rates. I mean, this is just a completely different team than what we got today. So let's try to hash out Brooklyn. Brooklyn, who did the full line change yesterday. I mean, just a total bullshit game. So first up, we're going to get Spencer Dinwiddie. I'm going to get him in for 34 minutes. And then we're going to go to Nick Claxton. Claxton's going to go in for 29. And then we're going to get Dorian Finney-Smith in for 29 as well. We're going to get Cam Johnson, 29. And then I'm going to get Bridges in for 36. Now, the rest of these guys should be pretty easy. We're going to get Nerlens Noel backing up Nick Claxton. Maybe something like 18 minutes for Noel. And then I'm going to give 1 minute at the 5 for Dorian Finney-Smith. Just one of those they go small type lineups. The only other guys that played on the 7th were Joe Harris and Seth Curry. So they went to 3, 6. So they had a 9-man rotation. So that's what we're going to look for here. We're going to get Joe Harris in for Harris, Curry, and Royce O'Neal. So let's get Royce O'Neal in for, he played 33 minutes. I don't know, we'll say 26 here for Royce. That's sort of what he's been, like sometimes he plays 18, sometimes he plays 34, bouncing around the place a lot. So now the last two guys, we got to split 39 minutes between Seth Curry and Joe Harris. Joe Harris played 23 minutes on Tuesday, 18 minutes on Sunday. I don't know, 19 minutes for Joe Harris, 18 minutes for Joe Harris, something like that. We'll go 18. And then Seth Curry played 22 minutes plus 16 plus 14 in the previous games, 23. I think he's probably good for 18 minutes here as well. I'm going to sneeze. Whew. Got that sneeze. So then 3, spillover minutes. Just going to toss those on to Yuta Watanabe for now. We got our minutes in here for Brooklyn. Don't trust this team in any way, but this is a great matchup against Minnesota. So we need to talk about games where Mikal Bridges has played. And really, that's going to just be the sample for what we have for these guys. So games where Mikal Bridges played. What do we know? So Bridges is at 28% usage. But we'll start with Cam Johnson. 292 minutes, 24% usage rate. Dorian Finney-Smith is at 13.5% usage, so he's just still himself. Bridges at 28. I can't go there. I'm going to go to 27. I'm going to go to 26.5. We'll go to Nick Claxton. He's been at 14. Oh, that's a little limited. And then Dinwiddie, 333 minutes, 11 games with Bridges, 23% usage rate. Now, from the assist perspective, Dinwiddie gets quite a bit of a bump. He's been much more of a facilitator. Bridges is sort of himself. Claxton, I don't care. Dorian Finney-Smith, I don't really care. They're not the type of guys that just take on that kind of creation role. So no changes there. What have we seen for Nick Claxton since these guys came in from a rebounding perspective? A little bit more. So we will give him a bump there. Dinwiddie, not really that guy. Bridges, not really that guy. Dorian Finney-Smith, big enough bump that I got to give him something. And then Cam Johnson is himself. That's going to be Brooklyn. We'll see what that looks like against Minnesota. I have no idea what their salaries are for today. Minnesota. So for the Wolves, no Towns, no Jalen Noel. So this is going to be pretty standard Wolves rotation, which is helpful in this spot. We got Mike Conley in for 31 minutes. I'm going to make that 30. Jordan McLaughlin just gets the backup run. Does he get the full backup run? Are they splitting minutes? 30, 14. No. But I can give him another minute, get him to 16. Let's get Austin Rivers minutes out of there. We got Edwards in for 37. I'm going to make that 36. Bear, I got in for 31. Make that 30. Naz Reid, 18. Torian Prince, I got in for 20. Kyle Anderson, I got in for 30. We could take Prince up 2 more minutes. That gets him to 22. Sir Manning. Good stuff. Love to see it. Gil Alexander Walker's probably good for like 2 more minutes as well. Get him up to 21. A 32 in for McDaniels, that's not going anywhere. That leaves me 5 extra minutes to just toss onto Rivers. I don't need to make any changes to rates. So let's look at this game. Okay. Minnesota Timberwolves season, folks. $9,500 Anthony Edwards. Yes, please. $4,700 Jaden McDaniels. Yes, please. $3,500 Nickeil Alexander Walker. Sneaky, I guess. Do I have him over projected? Should he just be 20 minutes? He should not be a guy that just like shows up. So let's take him down to 20. But McDaniels, Edwards, I mean, 7K Rudy Gobert, even in 30 minutes, looks good. Really like this Minnesota team today. Did not expect to see that, but they look good. And then on the opposite side for Brooklyn, this game is super sneaky. Bridges for 8,200, I'm in for. Dinwiddie for 7,300, I'm in for. I think $3,800 Royce O'Neal is worth a look. I think $6,700 Nick Claxton is worth a look. Cam Johnson looks fine. There are 10 legitimate plays in this game. This is the best game we've seen so far. Brooklyn, Minnesota is the game today, folks. I don't think it's going to be Denver, San Antonio. This is not going to be a fun one to break down. We know anything for the Nuggets, who are 12-point favorites in San Antonio. Q tag on Chanchar is all we need, which means this is standard Denver rotation. I don't really have any changes here. 34 for Jokic, 34 for Murray, 32 for KCP. I got 29 for Aaron Gordon, 29 for MPJ, 24 for Bruce Brown. This is exactly what we're looking for. And get another minute onto Reggie Jackson. I got Chanchar in. Whether he plays or not, we shall see. Denver is as easy to project. Now, Denver's going to look way better than they normally do. Now we got to deal with the San Antonio Spurs, which is truly, truly miserable. Everybody's available. Sohan in, Collins in, Langford in, McBuckets in. I'm thinking we're getting real San Antonio today. Rants, that's not true at all. That's legitimately not true at all. I don't. You clearly did not look at any part of that game. You got to stop just looking at a box score and thinking you got the answer right. All right, Trey Jones, 26 minutes. We are not going to trust the projections we're putting in for these guys. That's for sure. Zach Collins, 28. And then Charles Bassey backing him up for 18. And we need to get Sohan for 29. We're going to get Keldon for 31. Vassell got 29 on Sunday. Branham played. So let's get Vassell in for 29 again. I mean, we haven't seen this team be healthy basically forever. Thursday, the 2nd, is probably an interesting proxy, but Keldon didn't play there. But we only got 24 out of Malachi Branham. Makes me feel like I should go to 24 on Branham here. And then Know that we need to get McBuckets, like, his pretty standard issue. I mean, he hasn't played in 2 games, that's annoying. Now is where we start to get into, like, the I don't know who the hell to give minutes to guys. I mean, I think they're just gonna play McBuckets a bunch. Devontae Graham has been playing a ton with everybody out. At the very least, I'm gonna give him the other 22 point guard minutes. Still have 33 minutes left. It definitely needs to go to McBuckets. So let's give if we wanna get to 10, that's gonna be 17 and 16. So we'll give him 17. That leaves me 16. Is that just going to K Debates Diop? Yeah, probably is, right? I mean, do not oh, I gave him the Barlow accidentally. Here we go, 17. Do not feel comfortable with this team in any way. Now, in games where and the good thing is they should look awful against Denver. So I'm sure that San Antonio is going to have the keys to the city here. In games where we had Trey Jones, Devin Vassell, and Keldon Johnson all play primary roles. Because those are the 3 guys that are gonna have the ball in their hands the most. I mean, honestly, screw this San Antonio team today. So, Vassell in the 657 minutes he's played in this scenario is at a 24.5% usage rate. Keldon Johnson at around 28. Trey Jones is at 19. I'm just gonna let everybody else's rates just hash themselves out. Yeah, I don't think I have any other change. I guess Sohan would be good to lock in it. I mean, he has very minimal usage with these guys around. Zach Collins, I guess, is probably pretty interesting too. He's just sort of himself. I don't really have any other major changes to make here. Does San Antonio look good at all? Okay, so Devin Vassell does. 5,600 for Vassell is if you think that he could play 29 minutes. Now, maybe I shouldn't give him 29 since that's not even what he played yet. I'm going to give him 28. But I would say that I really like Devin Vassell today. I don't have a huge interest in the rest of San Antonio. You got Keldon Johnson is fine. Trey Jones is fine. It's just really hard to trust their minutes right now. But $5,600 Devin Vassell is an interesting option, shooting guard only. If he can play those minutes, like he's the best player on this team. So let's think about that moving forward. For Denver, okay, $7,600 Jamal Murray stands out. That I'm okay with. Jokic, KCP, Gordon, Porter, Brown, and Reggie Jackson are all basically the same play relative to salary. I definitely prefer Embiid to Jokic. That's not close. Jokic is going to have one of those games today where he goes for like 12 points, 15 assists, and 12 rebounds or something. And then Embiid's going to score 40 real points. But Jamal Murray is the key takeaway from Denver. Now we get to the final game. Raptors Lakers. AD obviously should look good in this spot unless they've bumped his price up. Toronto should look like Toronto does, which is the same every day. So as we look at Toronto, we got 38 minutes for Van Vliet. Yep. We got 27 for Trent. We'll talk about that in a second. OG Anunoby in for 35. I'm going to make that 36. We've got Scotty Barnes in for 35. I'm going to leave that at 35. 36 for Siakam is going to become 37. 29 for Jakob Poeltl works. 16 for Precious. 16 for Boucher. Small amount of minutes to Will Barton or Thad Young. Does not matter to me at all. I'm going to take 2 minutes away from Gary Trent. Toronto done. Easiest team to project. Sure, going to be a little bit worse. I didn't even look at Toronto's injuries. Yeah, everybody's available. Lakers. D'Angelo Russell back. AD in. No LeBron. So I had projected Russell in for their most recent game on Tuesday. He was not back. So I got him in for 30 for today. We got 35 for AD. I've got Wendy Gabriel as the backup. Troy Brown in for 28. I got 16 for Rui. I guess that might need to go up a little bit. Got Vanderbilt for 26. He's starting to creep down in minutes a little bit. I got 22 for Schroeder, 18 for Lonnie Walker. Feels like Lonnie Walker is going to be the guy that loses out here a bit. But let's get Rui up to 20. We get Schroeder at 24. I want to get Austin Reeves to 25. That's going to let me take a big chunk of minutes away from Lonnie Walker. Rate changes I don't have to do because I made these changes assuming Russell was playing. So we are actually done this slate already. 7-16, 6 games up, 6 games down. Make sure you're hitting that like button. 150 people in the house. What do we like for the Lakers? Yeah, Anthony Davis here. So AD and Embiid are very comparable pay-up centers. I think they're both pretty clearly ahead of Jokic. I don't really see anything else for the Lakers that I would deem necessary. Beasley's not that interesting. Russell's not that interesting. I don't really like anything on the Lakers except for Anthony Davis. And then for Toronto, hard not to like everything because of the pace of this game. Van Vliet looks great at 8,300. Pascal Siakam at 8,700 seems very necessary. You know what? I'm going to take a lap through these Toronto rates since Jakob Poeltl has come in. I want to see if we're getting any like really major rate changes because that's a team that I have not really touched lately, and that matters, I think. So Jakob Poeltl starting. What do we have here? Siakam's played 375 minutes. He's at a 26.5% usage rate. So I will bring that down a bit. Barnes is at 21. And Vliet is at 21. And Anunoby is at 16. That is a giant cut for him. Jake Pudd is at 17, so he doesn't change. And then Trent, since he's been more of a bench guy, does get a little bit of a bump. Now, assist rates can't really change, but I want to see it for Siakam. Yeah, that's fine. Van Vliet's assist rate since Jakob Poeltl has gotten here has gone through the roof. I'm going to give him a slight bump. And then rebounding, I think we're okay. Siakam is really not participating in the rebounding side of this one. I assume Anunoby is really not participating in that either. Yeah, no. Barnes is not either. Big time rebounding cut to all of these guys now. Interesting to see. But either way, we still really like Toronto. I think Van Vliet's your best option. I think Barnes is second. Siakam third. Anunoby fourth. Not that much interest in Jakob Poeltl. But we are done here. Let's run some crunches, folks. What do we got? So let's start this off. FanDuel Optimals. Very interested to see if we get Embiid or AD as the center. It's going to be one of the two. I just don't know which one it's going to be. So first one up is Optimals. It's AD. This is FanDuel too. Excuse me. Fred VanVleet, Mike Conley, DeLon Wright, D'Anthony Melton, Anthony Edwards, Matisse Thybulle, Cam Johnson, Jaden McDaniels, AD. Nothing there that I'm shocked to see. 298.24 is the total. That's the optimal lineup by 0.45. Now we get power rankings on FanDuel. Definitely didn't expect it to be Anthony Edwards, but $8,800 Ant makes some sense on FanDuel. I didn't really pay attention to his price, but yeah, no surprise that he's the number one guy by a mile. So Anthony Edwards is your number one guy on FanDuel for today. Melton, 2, McDaniels, 3, DeLon Wright, 4, Fred VanVleet, 5. Then you get Anunoby, Maxey, Cam Johnson, DeJounte Murray, and Royce O'Neal rounding out the rest of the top 10. Now we get to DK. Now we get to the real stuff. What do we have on DraftKings for today? Is it Embiid? Is it AD? My guess is that it's AD, but it's gonna be a close one. Actually, I'm starting to think it might be Embiid, but I do think that one of those two guys will be our pay up. Optimal lineups. It is Joel Embiid, but that is not the lineup that I was expecting. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 269.7. This is the optimal by 0.06. Walker, Vassell, Avdia, Royce O'Neal, Embiid, Edwards, McDaniels, and Rudy Gobert. 4 Wolves, one of which is Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Huh. We do get Embiid into that top lineup. What do the power rankings look like? Where does Nickeil Alexander-Walker end up in all of this? Okay, so at the very least, no one is separating from the pack. This is a very, very flat top end. We're getting my boy DeJounte Murray up there. Jaden McDaniels is looking like he's going to get that number 1 spot. Might be Murray. Gonna be close. Jaden McDaniels, DeJounte Murray, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Royce O'Neal, Fred VanVleet is your top 5. Anthony Edwards, Kyle Kuzma, Jamal Murray, John Collins, AD rounded out. So AD gets in there quite a bit more than Joel Embiid, I guess. So looks like AD more cost effective to a degree than Embiid. That is a interesting top 10. Look, I don't know what to do with Walker, but I mean, $3,500 price tag. We're talking about needing what? 18, 25? Would that be so crazy if this dude's playing 20 something minutes? Hopefully we just get better value so that goes away. I don't like it. That's for sure. Great matchup though. Oh my god. We do not want to be getting to that. Well, folks, we made it through the week. 6 games up, 6 games down. It's been a fun one. Oh, I don't like that view at all. Nope, not that one either. 6 games up, 6 games down. It's been fun. I'll be back in the normal office, rise and grinding and having early coffees on Monday. Thank you guys for being here. Make sure you're checking out. Make sure you're hitting the like button for sure. Make sure you're checking out the Prize Picks content. Been on quite the heater. Don't miss that. Check out No House Advantage as well. I'll have contenders videos out shortly. That's all you're getting from me today, though. No strategy show, no deeper dive, no live before lock. I am done. When I sign off here, it's the last live show I have until Sunday morning. So thank you guys for watching and have a good day. Enjoy your Friday. Have a safe weekend, everybody. This was The Process.